Hello chess lovers, Soren here, and in this video I want to share with you an amazing game played by renowned Danish chess grandmaster Bent Larsen. Larsen's opponent is Canadian chess player Leon David Piasetski, who would earn international master title in 1975. Meanwhile, this is year 1970, we are at Canadian Open, which took place in St. John, which is a city in Canada. This is round 2. And Piasetski with white pieces opened up with knight f3. Larsen's answer was f5 and the good old, the razor-sharp Dutch defenses on the board. Knight f6, bishop g5. As you know, when playing Dutch defense, black is usually organizing his game, his attack on the king side, which is usually supported by the light-squared bishop on b7. And usually, in order to neutralize that attack, white is going for a central thrust. It's either going for e3, e4 or e2, e4 straight away. And this bishop g5 aims to remove the knight which is covering the central e4 square and go for that e4 without meeting any obstacles. After bishop e7, white removed that key piece and then went for e4. Here Larsen castled kingside, bishop d3, putting further pressure on f5, and after d5 white already has to make a choice, should either go for an exchange or go for e5. In the game we see e takes f5, e takes f5, white castled kingside, knight c6. So the e file is open and the players will try to occupy it. Although let me tell you that usually this type of a setup in Dutch defense is not giving much to the players. Usually these type of structures lead to a peaceful result. But this game is an exception and we will see a brilliant idea brought into life by Bent Larsen. At the moment, let me tell you that Stockfish suggests to go for g5, g4, which looks very aggressive. But you have to be careful, you can find yourself overexposed. Instead, in the game we see a quiet continuation starting with knight c6, c3, queen d6, queen c2, g6, rook e1. White is already hurrying to occupy the e file, and after b6, Piasetsky played rook e2 with the idea of doubling up his rooks. I guess that after doubling up the rooks, Piasetsky was intending to go for several exchanges, simplify the position, and end up this game in a draw. Yes, that would be great for such a player, for an untitled player, make a draw with such a legendary player. But it was in here that Larsen made a staggering decision, and instead of looking for simplifications, he played one of the most amazing moves in his career, rook e4. How do you like this beauty, guys? An exchange sacrifice is on the board, which white accepted, after which we have f takes e4. By recapturing, black blocked the e file, and already white rooks look somewhat useless, and black managed to open up the f file for the rook, and now can organize a kingside attack. Knight fd2, bishop h4, knight f1. According to Stockfish, g3 was the move, but we will come back to it once I finish the game. Knight d8, c4, c6, knight e3, knight e6. So Larsen is also switching his knight into the attack. Rook f1, bishop d8. Another beautiful and instructive move. Already Larsen can switch his bishop into the attack from h to b8 diagonal. Yeah, the bishop from behind can support black queen. Rook goes on d1, after which black gains advantage, and there followed knight f4. Already black is threatening to land a heavy punch, right? Knight g2 can be a threat. Knight h3 is actually even stronger. That's why white played knight f1. Covered the h2 square. There followed bishop g2, rook d2, and at this point you can give a try to find Larsen's next move. Ready? Well, turns out that already everything is ready to land a heavy punch and Larsen went for it. Knight takes g2 is on the board. White didn't dare to accept the sacrifice, instead played rook e3, which Larsen happily munched. F takes e3, queen f6, hitting on f1, rook f2, bishop f3. And now queen g5 check is coming, right? In the game we see knight g3, but after queen h4, resignation followed. What I want to do right now is to switch stockfish and go through the game while the beast is on. So, at this point, g5 is something which is worth of taking into consideration if you're an aggressive player in this type of positions. You can go for that g5 move. And then what I want to do... Okay, let's see how the evaluation changes after knight c6. Okay, at this point we have more or less an equality. Both players are hurrying to develop their pieces, nothing special. Rook e1. Well, if White was intending to go for simplifications, he could go for an immediate rook e8 move, but I guess that Piasetski was not expecting that Larsen can make a move like rook e4. That's something which Stockfish is not suggesting, but the interesting thing is that after rook e4, it's not like that we see a huge change in evaluation. It looks very creative. White accepted the rook sacrifice. Okay, what if you won't accept it, but what else can you do? It's somewhat difficult to find a good continuation for White. The rook is just demoralizing White's position, right? If knight c1, then g5 can follow. In the game, after rook e4, we see bishop takes e4, f takes e4, knight d2, bishop h4, something which engines don't like, and according to Stockfish, better playing bishop g5, and then what? And then bishop f4. Interesting. Or queen f6. Instead, Larsen played bishop h4, and what's the problem with it? Turns out that with g3 followed by f3, White is successfully managing to neutralize opponent's attack. Yeah, this pawn will soon drop, and White is actually managing to activate his pieces. Yeah, you can't protect it. Instead, we see a passive looking knight f1 continuation, and gradually Larsen started to intensify the pressure. He is already starting to gain advantage. Is bishop d8 the most accurate move? Yes. Knight f4 is also good, but yeah, again we see bishop d8, rook d1. Rook d1 is already a losing move. Seems like that White was in a very tough situation and didn't know how to proceed with the game. Better was playing, for example, rook e1, right? And then what? Knight g5, knight d2. Again, black has an initiative. Instead we see rook d1. And yeah, this is something after which black is gaining advantage. The knight jumps on f4 with a tempo. Better was making another waiting move like rook e1. Instead we see rook d1, knight f4, rook e1. Yeah, this is even worse. Better was giving back the exchange, right? Like with a move of rook c1. But not really, already White is in a trouble. Rook e1, bishop c7. There are so many threats now hanging in the air. Knight f1, bishop g4, rook d2, and knight g4 followed. Can you go for knight takes g2 straight away? Yeah, interestingly, yes, you can go for knight g4 even in here. Instead we see bishop g4, and only after rook d2 the knight sacrifice followed. If king takes g2, then bishop f3 is coming. And then queen e6, queen h3, right? Yeah, there is no defense. White king is in a mating net. Okay, in the game after knight takes g2, we see rook e3. What if, for example, here? Then knight f4 just. Oh, this is a beautiful line, right? Okay. Queen e6, and then checkmate. In the game we see rook e3, which so white is giving back the exchange, but already there is no defense. Black's attack is unstoppable. Queen h4. Now the threat is bishop takes g3. If knight f1, then rook f7, then rook f5. But the simple queen g4 is also winning. Yeah, it's winning. If here, then here, and then queen d1. Black is an exchange up with a dominating position. That's why, as a ferocious attack, that's why, yeah, after queen h4 resignation followed. So this is it, dear chess lovers. This was really a nice and destructive game by Bent Larsen. I really adored that exchange sacrifice on e4. And if you like this game, feel free to share with your friends, let them know about this beauty. In the end, a chess puzzle for you, where the task is to mate in 2 moves. It's white to move. I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in my next video.